It's already recording. Hi everyone, welcome to this era, the show that talks about the many sides of me. I'm Kevin, and today we're doing a very special episode in my car, literally 30 minutes, with special guest Anaiah.
Hey guys.
This is a very very impromptu, very random ass episode that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Ever.
It was very sudden.
But we are here waiting for Coraline.
Yes, we have a little date.
Yeah, a little cute date. Oh my god. And we're gonna watch the movie. I'm so excited. I love the movie. And Anaiah's joining me today. Thank you for this little date.
I'm so excited.
But we're also recording this podcast. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But this is a special bonus episode.
We're gonna go.
Yeah.
Little car sesh.
Love your nails.
Thank you.
No one can see the nails right now, but Anaiah's wearing the most prettiest nails right now.
Thank you.
Where were you? You were just in Texas, you said.
I was in Texas, and it was a very healing trip. That was much needed. I got to be a bridesmaid. Bridesmaid's a lot of work.
And dude, you're so everybody, whoever's in listening and tuning in, Anaiah's literally so pretty. Slay. Did you take a lot of photos?
I did take a lot of photos.
Are you posting them?
I'm posting some of them.
Do you know what I like about your stories and what you post? I love the way that you have such subtle, what do you call it? Oh my god, subtle male gaze. You post. So for those tuning in, Anaiah has in my perspective, she posts a photo of her, beautiful gown, beautiful dress, hair, stuff.
Not too much.
Not too much. Very demure.
Very demure.
Very cutesy.
Very mindful.
Do you see the way that I raise?
Being modest but classy.
It's very much that. Very much true. Very demure, very mindful. Dead ass, I know that's we're kind of joking around the whole trend right now, but it is very much that. Anaiah wears clothes and such, and she posts, and it's just.
I want to give advice to all the girls.
What is it? What is it?
Be classy. Just be classy. You know what I mean? If you have a dress on, it's in right now. You want to get a guy's attention, be classy. You are going to attract what you put out there.
Okay.
The more revealing you are, what kind of guys do you think you can attract?
Okay.
And I think the more modest you are, the more classy you are, It's funny because you, different your DMs are so full.
Yeah.
But no, they're not, because I'm not gonna attract the guys, those type of people, So I don't know. I think as a woman, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've always been like that though. That's just how
That's just your nature?
Yeah.
But what do you mean by how raised? Was it something that you were raised, or you just naturally?
Yeah, I mean,
she's just beautiful.
I don't know.
You have this sort of sense of modest. Again, I know I'm joking around with the demure thing, but it's very much demure. Okay. No, it really is. It's we sound like we're joking around on this the trend, but in reality, your posts are very demure. You're being very sexy. You're serving sex with such demure modesty, but also really catches the eye, and you're very simple, I will say. But you have deleted a lot of posts, I would say, in social media. Why?
I became very private with my life.
Is it because of past previous relationship stuff, or you're just in this new wave of solitude? What is this?
Yeah. No, I became very private with my life a couple years ago.
Okay.
I don't know. Didn't feel the need to put most of my business out there.
Okay.
You can't have anything. If you don't have anything, you have nothing for anyone to talk about. you know? So, I don't know. And also a big thing for me is I came to the realization a lot of the times I was posting was for validation.
Okay.
So, which is mainly the reason also too is I'm not putting myself out there because I don't want to seek validation really from anyone. You know? So I deleted a lot of my posts. Social media is not a bad thing. I love social media. But I personally was I'm seeking a lot of validation. Why am I posting these selfies? Why am I posting this? Okay. Right? What are my intentions of posting this picture? And a lot of times it's okay, well, if I'm trying to get this guy's attention, if I'm trying to act like my life is sunshine and rainbows,
glitz and glam,
then I don't want to post it at all. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Which is true to many women right now, and men. Mm-hmm. They post for that vanity.
Yeah.
And it's very fake.
Yeah. And it leads to a lot of comparison.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, currently, just healing and just going through a lot of things, I'm not gonna post sunshine and rainbows when that's not really what I'm going through.
I want to plug in like an episode. I have like an episode on season 2, I believe, with Hope Cherise. We did like a comparison trap episode. Really want to tie that in because we were talking. We just mentioned the comparison sort of thing. If anybody tuning in, go listen to that episode. Very like talks about a little bit of that area. Like, okay,
and it's like, I want to be like as real as possible with my life if I am putting it out there.
Yeah.
But so I stopped doing that. I don't post a lot of selfies, and when I do, it's like if I'm like traveling or whatever. But and it helped me a lot. It became really healthy when I wasn't like posting every day and like, look at me. But I try to be as real as possible with people with what I'm going through and what I'm experiencing, because I know what it is to be that girl on the other side of social media and be like why is her life look like that? When I'm reality, the other side, it doesn't look like that at all.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
You don't want me posting absolutely everything.
No, see, there's people like that it doesn't affect them.
It's more of like a expressionistic thing. Like if you look at like my way past posts, it was nothing but nonsense, which I think it really was what Instagram was back then. And I'm using Instagram as an example, not any other social media.
It wasn't about aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or, like anything.
And slowly, I think there's a documentary on like Netflix that talks about this sort of like concept of what like social media, especially Instagram, like what it was and what it is now, and if that was the intention of like the creators, and how they like use how they use it and market it now is very much what people shaped it into what it was. I mean, what it is now, but really in reality, that's what it was back before. It was to just post and like you see my old shit. And it's very much that. I think I, like recently, this was like 2 months ago, 1 month ago, I deleted a lot. I archived a lot of stuff and deleted a lot of stuff to like tailor my like sort of theme, like my look. Yeah. And you look at it and it's very much me. Like you see my Instagram and you see pops of color, you see my, I think myself, like you see a little bit of the way that I've gained confidence. So because now I have a little bit more of me there. Yeah. And also my accomplishments, like for those like here like listening, tuning in, Anaiah took like my graduation photos, which is something that is a huge milestone for me, that I have not taken any photos. Like I'm the first one in my family to graduate college. And like this was like 2 years ago, it was 2021. Yeah. And I haven't had any photos, and we took the photos. I'm like editing them down, like as in like deleting the ones that I don't like, and finally have like a set of what I want to post, but also like to frame and have like myself. I showed like my mom, some family, they love it. It looks so good. Of course, different timing. Camera was having some issues with some of them, right? But no, that's all good. No, it's all good. I know how. I was like, I swear I'm not hiding them. So we make Anaiah, where are the The thing is that I wanted to post this at a certain time frame, and that didn't work out. But also, I like to think that it's aligned in some way, like it has to be in the way that it had to be. Yeah. As I think everything is. That's so fun. So I'll post it when I feel like posting it, I guess. And I guess that kind of ties into the thing, like it's eliminating like I need to post it to, look a certain way, like have people like the validation sort of thing. Yeah. It's I admire that, like you, like just like posting anything and anything that you want. Do I still like put intention in aesthetics or something? Yeah. Yes. Like yesterday, I think I posted something on my Snapchat and Instagram as well, like on like the private stories or whatever, like the close friend stories. I posted like a quick little edit that I did. Yeah. And I was listening to a different version of a song that I put on there, and the sun was setting, was so nice, glowy. I felt good. So I made a quick little like fun reel, but I didn't just take a regular video. Like I did like a whole little edit. Yeah, but you're using your creativity for it. That is very much me, very creative, very demure. I think very demure, cutesy, and mindful. Very mindful. I think it's so sad too, because like you said, like back then, like Instagram was just a place like to put like whatever you want out there. Yeah. And like also like other social media platforms, but it honestly is so sad when
there are confident people who want to be themselves and post what they want, but there is the backlash of like other people's comments and someone being themselves and like you're weird. Like, why did they post it? Or you go to
I
someone
know a
else
few
and-
people like that.
Yeah, and even like a lot of people. I know I wanted to post a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of content before I became really private, and I just had all the people. Oh, that's so cringy. You know, like
I've gotten that so many
actually wants to make a career out of social media, and people who do, and then you have other people who are that's so cringy. Like, why is she recording? Why is she acting like she's an influencer? Why is she doing these YouTube?
Oh my god,
which is so sad. Like, you know, it's like that's someone like something that people generally like to enjoy. I know I like to film a lot of videos and document my life. I do plan on posting more of that, but it's like, man, like people are so mean.
Yeah.
And you had to hold back and who you really are, and then trying to fit into someone you're not, trying to fit into aesthetic that's not you for other people to like you. And that's the problem with a lot of people right now. It's like you're trying so hard to fit into this person just to be liked by everybody else, you know?
And that is the issue right now with social media.
Yeah. And again, back to comparisons, like you're comparing yourself to this other person by their looks or their life, and you feel like you have to fit into that, you know?
Yeah.
Whether it be getting a guy's attention or a girl's attention, it's like I need to dress that way, I need to look that way or be this way to have what they have, you know?
Also, it's fine. I'm sure. It'll AI.
Wait, what did I say? What did I say? You just hear the air?
No. The AI will get it.
It's really windy out there.
I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. I felt that with like YouTube. Like when I was doing YouTube, I used to do if for the audience listening. I used to do YouTube videos doing like a review on a show that I love, Steven Universe. Yes, and some of the videos are still there. You can watch them, but that's like little like old like young Kevin. But I was gaining a following. I had roughly like the highest. I want to say 190,000
Oh, okay.
views on like per video.
Yeah.
On a good video, like on the ones that were like the popular episodes at that time. I had to stop because of copyright strike with YouTube and blah blah blah. I mentioned it in like an episode before, like in the podcast. The people who are very close to me, like from that time, they definitely know like how that was and how it was going. And I made money and everything. I have fan art, so and so. But what I wanted to add to that is that I remember like feeling like I had like I was really tailoring myself, which is like a good and a bad thing because that's what marketing is to like my audience. Like I remember getting bad comments. I had bad comments that I would hide. I had bad comments saying like, "Ill, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?" Or like something. It's giving jealousy for sure, but when you look at that, like the rest of it was larger than one bad comment.
Yeah. And you know what? Most of these people do, like in those comments, are insecure themselves.
Why'd you watch the video, first of all?
Yeah,
Thanks for giving me
a lot of
access.
people want to do what they're doing and wish they had the confidence to do what you're doing.
I really like did a lot like as a young age, like in that kind of realm. Like I think I put myself in such small, like I think I told you this before. Like I had a conversation with this my manager actually, where I put myself like low, like very much that one syndrome, what's it called? Like where you like don't think it's that good or whatever. But like in my life, like I put myself in such low thing, but it's because of me comparing a lot of me to other people. And then especially growing up like gay and everything or coming out in that kind of sense, that identity that's also added to it. And I'm sure you have your own sort of version with you growing up and your like family. But that comparison and that kind of thing that really affected me when it came to it's just insecurity, all of that stuff. But I've done a lot so far that a lot of gain like some kind of recognition from people being like, that's so cool who does that. Even this podcast is like big to someone that I like some people. To me, it's just like let's do it. It's kind of fun, whimsical kind of thing that I started with. I believe it was with my ex. Like the whole name of my podcast started because of a poem that I made. Really? And I will show you the poem later. I think I read it on the podcast before. But it's based. This whole podcast was because of him.
Yeah.
And but I wouldn't have done that without like outside forces. I want to say like I feel like yes, I did it, but it's because of like people's influence that I've done it. Like I how do I say this? I am still working on being not the confidence on the what do you call it? It's like a form of like respect. It's like where like I care about my own opinion, like care about my own like doing of things, and I'm like secure of like that thing that I'm doing. Like I still think like for my manager, I'm like, is this all right? Or like, did I do this okay? Or like, did I say something wrong? Like I'm asking other people outside for validation in that regard.
That's all rooted. Really being confident in who you are. That's taken a long time for me. But you have to dig deep for that, you know? Like just figuring out the things. This honestly goes all the way back to childhood. Like the things that have hurt me, really like diving deep into those things.
Yeah.
We're still like to me as a person. And it honestly has to do with like how I was raised. But really like diving deeper into like your trauma and all the things that make you and why you feel that way, right? And why you feel insecure and why you feel invalidated, why you feel rejected, you know, but really dealing with those things and figuring out how to heal from those things, right? And as long as you're confident in your identity, like you said, like care about others' opinions, right? Because you're confident in your words. And not that that's always a good thing, because we can be confused sometimes, and it's okay to get wisdom from other people. But yeah, I've been confident, like, this is who I am, you know, this is what I like, this is how I like to dress, this is what I like to post, you know, and not letting others' opinion affect that, and realizing their words are coming from their hurt, you know, and their own insecurity. So when you realize that, that doesn't affect you as much, because you don't see them as anymore. You see them as hurt human beings, you know? Why are you smiling?
It's like I'm seeing somebody in my head and you know who it is.
Yeah.
It's that person. Very much like that because they attack me in so many ways, but I know, and it's so funny because everybody around when he's doing that, everybody around him are like, they look at him, they're like, "Whoa, that was like," they say like, "Whoa, like clearly, like you are the issue," but that person doesn't see it.
Yeah, and a lot of people won't, because they do have blinders on, and because they're not, like I said, dealing with that trauma in front of them that's deep rooted into them. You know, so they're gonna have blinders over their faces, and they're not gonna realize that, take authority of that, you know. So, but it's given me like a lot of grace for people that hurt like that.
Yeah.
Because I used to be like, oh man, like forget them, like, you know, like they're such haters. Like I don't need people like that in my life, which is true. But also, I feel more grace for them, and honestly feel bad for them. And I think I have a soft spot for people like them, because I was that person. And I think I wish I had someone that sat there with me. It's like, hey, like I understand that you're hurt, you know, and that kind of hurt me out, and feel like I was seen. Yeah. Because when I was an angry person myself, I never had those people who sat there with me. Like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? You know? And that became my identity. Like, I was just like a person. And I like accepted that, instead of someone telling me like, hey, this is why you feel this way. You know?
Yeah.
Like, this is why you feel this way. You know, how are you affected by this? And then come to realization, wait, like, I'm not an angry person. I'm not a sad person. I'm not a depressed person. You know, I just had things in my life that I haven't dealt with or healed from. You know?
Yeah.
So I kind of have a soft spot for those people, because it's like, man, like, if you only dealt with those things, you could really find your identity, you really are. You know? And I tell everyone this, like, what comes out of your mouth matters. You know, when you're constantly telling a person, like, you're an angry person, you're this, like, they're
me talking shit to this person or anybody.
Like, if you do tell that person, like, hey, like, you're not angry, and you don't, you know, and of course they're like, yeah, like, whatever. But trust me, Kevin, they know. You know,
Just like it's actually.
but like, because we're those people too. Like,
yeah,
we're all dealing with different things, you know. It's like, I would really hate if someone was like, oh, now you're like, you're just so sad.
I get told that I'm sensitive, but then I remember somebody like we're walking and I said that to them and he's like that's okay. It's you just love like more easily.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
So I'm also like, it makes me sad when people say that because like other people, family or friends, whatever, have said that to me either in a very super direct, mean kind of way or like a general way, and it hurts a little bit. It's just not at that moment, but then like after when I'm like alone or something, it's just like it starts coming in like that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh,
see that right there could be whatever it was that you dealt with, you know? Because I've not told this like, you're so sensitive. But it's like, okay, when I actually figured out, okay, why am I sensitive though?
Yeah.
It's like, dang, like I wasn't heard as much as I wanted to when I was growing up.
Very much that. Yeah.
I was dealt with a toxic household.
Yeah.
Of course I'm sensitive to people yelling or speaking differently than then. You know, so it's and it's not always a bad thing, you know? It's like, okay, let's change it up. Like you're tenderhearted. You know, that's a good thing.
Chicken tender.
Chicken tenderhearted. That's it. It's like turn that into positive things and make it I am a sensitive person. Like I am tenderhearted. Like I do care about people. I do overlap. Like that's not a bad thing. You know, instead of making such a bad thing, like, you're so sensitive.
But those people, and especially like that person, is like, especially that person would like use that. They like use it so much, you know. And I'm talking about other people as well, but like the recent one is that person. They say that, and then you're like sort of like, oh, another one, another person saying that to me.
Yeah.
But I know that it's them.
Yeah.
Or they're projecting or something.
Yeah. I had the same issue, like I said. With my family, like, oh, you're just so angry all the time. Like, you're so mad.
Me.
But man, like, if I only had someone, instead of like, always speaking, if I had someone like, hey, like, why are you angry? Yeah. Why do you feel? I would have dealt with it way sooner than I did.
So you did like with yourself?
Yeah.
Like you figured that out. You by yourself. Like not something like external, like sort of like you're saying, like somebody asking you.
Yeah,
How'd you do that?
Well, honestly, it was God because that's where I found my identity, and that He's given me people to be that were a friend to me, you know, and asked me how it was, and that was when I first experienced that. I was like, dang, like I didn't realize how much I was totally and I didn't realize how confused I was, who I was, you know. So it really taught me a lot. And to just be loved over, you know, instead of like it was different. It was just different because I felt like again like well, you're always angry, you always say something that, and then I started to believe that about myself. Like, oh man, I'm just an angry person. But then when I had someone be like, no, you're not an angry person. You're not a sad person. You're just you got to heal from a lot of things, you know. Realizing that I was around angry people for a lot of my life, you know. But then choosing to be different from those other people.
We're just like really different.
We're just like really different.
We're just so different. We're felt different. We're just so
different.
Yeah. That's our answer to people. We're just like that. I'm just different. What are you? Bill boring.
You know what? That's also not a bad thing though. You are different. You know?
Yeah. I think I've said that before.
I think I said that before too.
I'm just different. Why you Billy?
But this goes back to being confident. When someone it's like, oh, you're just different. Yeah, I am different. Like
I'm like hella weird.
Like me saying like I'm not like those other girls. But I'm being confident that like I'm not like those other girls. Not and I'm confident in my value as a woman and as a person. Yeah. So I will say that I'm different, you know. And without comparing myself to a girl. That's another thing too. What? Is like this is what really bothers me. Is like we don't like to be compared to, right? Uh-huh. But it's like why do we talk down on others also? You know, that's one thing I don't do. It's like talk down on other women and other girls.
Me talking absolutely. You're trash, you're ugly.
Because man, again, like back to like these are just back to basics. These are just girls, you know. Like
they're just built differently.
just
no, but you're kind of
like okay, going back to social media.
You're like I wasn't.
A lot of girls are revealing, right?
Yes.
More revealing.
Catch a lot of men's eyes.
Yes. But it's like if you look at it from a different perspective, how sad is it for them to feel like they need to show more of their bodies?
Is that what it is? So is that is that what it is?
What do you mean?
Is that what it is?
Who knows?
I know people personally that they do that a lot, but not. There's one in particular that they're doing that, but they're also like very confident. They have a nice body, like they work out, they work for it.
See
They show it, but it's still a little bit more like sex, like
yeah, that comes back to intent, like your intentions of why you're posting, what you're posting. If you're a gym rat, right, and you're posting your body, and you're proud of your progress, post it. If those are your intentions. Now, if your intentions are to look at my body,
you mean more like Victoria's Secret ad kind of,
right?
That's what you mean.
Yeah, but like something that's a little bit more obvious. Like, okay, she's definitely showing her. No, she's definitely showing. I don't know. A little bit of lip and everything. A little too much. A little too much. Like, those punkers, girl, they're really punking her. But yeah, it's like, what are your intentions?
Stupid man's eye, and it's always like idiots.
And then they complain like this won't stack up in me. Well, you're projecting. It's like, my gosh, none of these guys are great. Like these bad guys, I just you attract what you put out there. Okay, so they're men are jerks. So they're gonna
that kind of. So like I was in another podcast, the Moonman podcast. There's a recent episode with me, with Devin and Eddie. I filmed that at his house. We quickly dabbled on that idea. There was this post on TikTok. I remember the guy was talking about. I don't know where he referenced it from, like a book or something. But it's very much that, like the identity thing. Like it's like, and this goes through sort of like other sides, like manifestation and other things like that. But it very much comes down to a little bit of this sort of identity thing, where it's like, if you are in that identity, you will get that. Like if I'm in the identity of money, for example, I will get the money. I will attract it. And what am I trying to say with that? It's like if I'm surrounding, like it's really, I'm gonna really bring it to like a basic thing. Like if I'm surrounding myself in like wealth mentality, and I purposely through that mentality go to some wealthy area, and I meet a wealthy person, and that person, now I have their contact, and now they're sharing wealthy tips to me, then I now have those tips to become wealthy like them, and then we network, and then it's, but now, and then out of nowhere, now I'm getting more money because I'm investing in some kind of business thing. I don't know.
That's true.
But it's because I was putting my brain in, like my being in that identity. Right. So it's kind of the same thing here. It's like if you're gonna be posting, yourself like that, you're gonna attract nothing but that kind of people.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the wrong,
if that's
not to out anybody at all. Well,
like if that's your niche, it makes sense,
right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
but if you don't want that, then don't be.
Right. Exactly.
And that it comes again to that thing. Like, if you don't want to be in that identity, then that's when you have to change it.
Right.
And that takes a lot of work, especially because then ego starts trying to protect it, wants to stay safe.
Absolutely. And it is true. You are what you surround yourself with.
And what you eat.
And what you
are what you eat. So.
Because once I changed my friend.
It really is surrounded by themselves.
Yes, absolutely. I had friends that were constantly encouraging to do the wrong thing. And I never changed as a person because I kept around.
That's such a huge one that you see everywhere. Like all of those like TikToks or like videos on YouTube, whatever, any kind of self-help book, they say that. It's like
change your friends. That was number one thing for me. Did I want to let go of those friends? Of course not. But once I realized, okay, these friends are not good for me, they can't encourage me to do these things, I need to step back.
And you change the identity.
Yeah. And once I stepped back from those friends and I was surrounded by people who encouraged me to do the right things in any aspect, like that really, like, okay, changed my whole direction in life. Instead of someone being like, come on, let's go out, take a shot, let's get high, let's do this.
And that's where a lot of these people are, yeah.
Yeah, to hey, Anaiah, and kept me accountable for my actions, kept me in check, kept me in check, and cared about my well-being, and, and who I was. That changed everything for me. It, like, this trip I went on, I realized, man, like, I'm so lucky to have friends who make me a better person, to keep me accountable, to have those hard conversations with me. Because one, if you have friends that are always agreeing with you, those are not your real friends. Yeah. You guys should never, ever be, like, agreeing all the time. You need to have those friends who are going to tell you, hey, this is wrong. This is what I think. Yeah. Those are going to be hard conversations, but...
Did you capture a moment of, like, presence? Like, it's such a great feeling when you're, like, in presence, like when you're in the moment, like when you're right there.
Yeah.
When you're like right here now, it's like the weirdest like sort of realization you've ever had. I think you've had.
Yeah.
Over there.
Absolutely.
Like this is such a nice place. And people say, I think I saw something where it's like somebody was like, oh, I want to be in that all the time, and it's like it's not realistic. Like you will never always be in that moment, but when you are, like really like be in it. It's
the most important thing is I felt like I could be myself. And I felt generally like these people make me a better person. Yeah. That's why I was like, Kevin, like my mind was so at peace. Yeah. There was no noise because these people were my friends were constantly encouraging. They're constantly making me a better person. Yeah. I've had those hard conversations with them. I was so happy because I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky, Yeah. Because
that was a gratitude moment.
Yeah.
Also for you.
They made me feel so seen. The friends that I've had before, which is funny because I've had way more friends before, but I've never felt lonely around them. They're just constantly encouraging me to be something I'm not. Yeah. So it was so peaceful. I was so happy, and I felt so blessed to be around. Just have friends like you, like just right. Hey, you need to get on this. You need to get on this. Like
you need to get on Ozempic. Wait, I'm just kidding.
Like just really caring. And being like, get on it.
You're gonna make me cry.
Like I appreciate that. It's not, and I don't take it as you tell me what to do or you're being bossy or like you
know it's because like they give a shit.
Yeah. I really
we gotta like run it quick here like the episode to end it, but what is first step for people who are listening? What would you say is like the first step? Is it the friends thing or what is it? Or I guess it's like unique to each person though, right? But what would you say is to getting into that realm? It really is the identity.
Yeah, find where your identity comes from.
First. Evaluate what is the why of now. And what is
my why? Truthfully, was the Lord for me. Like that was my why. That was where I found my identity. Yeah. And I would say number one, really dive deeper into those things that are hidden inside of you.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about again, all the way from childhood. Like really dive deeper in why you are the way you are right now.
Yeah, not the 7-incher that's right.
Why are you angry? Like, why do you feel that way? Why are you sad? Yeah. Dive deeper and deal with those things. Number one thing you try to do is ignore those things.
Yeah.
And the more we ignore those things, the more hidden they're going to be. And you are going to go years and years and years not dealing with those things and be even more lost. And mental health is going to keep on escalating and deal with it now. Don't you want to be happy now? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the movie Soul from Pixar did.
Yeah.
When people become like lost into what they're doing, and then the lost souls, like that was like literally the perfect depiction of that sort of concept.
And, find where your identity comes from. Mine comes from the Lord. Mine comes from the Word. Where does your identity come from? Dig deeper into why you feel the way you do. Maybe. A little deeper, because that's not right. Like,
you're not enough.
Like you're so much more than that.
You're not gay. I'm just kidding. Conversion therapy be like, they're not gay. Yeah. Because of your mind. It's because of the men's underwear section, girl. No.
And you're not labeled by that. Happy. Oh, worthy. Yeah. Anyway, we have to go.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Someone out there's definitely gonna like hear this, and it's gonna be, if not, maybe this is the awakening for them. Which I've had people say that to me. Like, oh my God, you're like this episode helped me this, which is very like weird. So I'm sure someone out there is gonna hear this, and they're gonna. It's gonna be the change that they need.
Yeah, this is the era to be happy.
Oh, well, stop it. Thanks, guys, for listening to this bonus episode for this season 5. Special guest and I would love to have you on my podcast for a full episode. Let's do it in my house, video podcast. Glitz and glam and very pretty. So stay tuned for Anaiah to join me on a full episode of the podcast. Make sure to leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.
Bye.